Great, yeah. So I'm here tonight with our guests, Brad Gyori, Neil Benad and Debbie James of the Outsiders Project. We've got you guys into the studio to talk about your new anthology, which is called Home, and also to talk a little bit about the Outsiders Project. So, yeah, do you want to just start off by telling the listeners something about the Outsiders Project? Like, what is it? What does it do?
The Outsiders Project is an organisation that gives a voice to those that are on the fringes of society. We write our own stuff and then we perform it. We do workshops and
Cool. Have you been involved with it since the beginning, Debbie?
I've been not since the beginning. No, I joined about 4 years ago now. Yeah. I started off in a workshop. That's how people usually get into it. Went along to one of the workshops, and from there, my confidence grew, and I started writing. I started performing in some of the shows. And it's kind of grown from there.
Yeah, so you said it's for people that are on the fringes of society or maybe have been marginalised for one reason or another. So can you talk a little bit more about the work that it does there? And you said that it's helped you build your confidence.
For me, I've got a background of addiction. I'm in recovery from alcohol.
Right.
I suffer from depression, and I've got a history of homelessness. Makes me sound like a complete disaster, actually. But
right.
I've got a history of different, problems. So when I joined Outsiders, I was in quite a dark place. I'd had quite a lot going on, and I had absolutely no confidence whatsoever. I went along after I'd been nagged by a friend of mine for ages to go along to this thing, and I thought, well, all right then, I'll go. But I was very, very shy. I didn't read anything that I'd written. I didn't share anything I'd written for a long time, and it was only after quite a while of people with a lot of patience that would just constantly give me encouragement and want to hear my writing and encouraging me to read it. After a while, I started to open up more, share more, I went into one of the shows that we do, it kind of grew, and then I started doing more and more stuff. And
good.
I still get quite nervous, but yeah.
Neil, how did you get involved with the project?
So I've been in part of another group, and I was like one of those, happens to a lot of people, sort of needing some structure. Okay, I'm not from Bournemouth. I arrived in Bournemouth. I say I landed in Bournemouth. And for me to have structure was really quite important. So I started doing a writing workshop, and someone told me about the Outsiders Project. It'd been going for a little while, and just came along to workshops. There was a guy there called Scott that was taking a workshop. He's a musician, lovely guy, just made me feel relaxed. And through that, I just started writing. And I realised that it was something I wanted to do more of. So that is really encouraged in the Outsiders Project. It's not like, I guess it's not like a pity project. It's like the writings really can be really, really good, despite of backgrounds and barriers to that. It can be really, really strong. So
I would imagine it's quite empowering to be able to express that experience and to do it in a way where people are listening, and you're probably helping change their understanding of what you're talking about, like the issues involved.
We can write about most things, and that's what's really crucial. It's there's not a you can't say this, you can't say that. It comes from, they say write what you know, but it does come from a place. And I think it's vital. It's amazing that we've got this in Boscombe, in Bournemouth, that this sort of project is here, and so many people have come through and are coming through now. And yeah, it's given sort of value and meaning, and it's lovely to be part of it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Cool. So let's talk about the new anthology home. So Brad has very kindly brought a copy into the studio so I can see it. I'm flicking through it now. It looks really beautifully produced. You've got photos in here. You've got poems and stories. How did this come together?
Well, it's related to what we've done with the Bournemouth Writing Festival. So they we collaborate with them on the Bournemouth Writing Prize, and we did for the first time last year, and we wanted a charity to support, and right away we thought of the Outsiders Project. I first met some of the people from the Outsiders Project for a Bournemouth Emerging Arts Fringe poetry lock-in, which sounds kind of ominous, but it was actually a lot of fun. And I was just amazed by the range of material, the depth of it. I remember Neil presented something, and it was very funny. I mean, you had things, and then you would go to things there were things that would take a very dark turn, like on the dime, And so there's all of this sort of powerful moving about with things tonally. I think that's one of the things. I think the anthology works really well as a nice taster and introduction to some of the things that the Outsiders Project does. But it's worth keeping in mind that they're also a performing group. They do theatrical pieces, they do performances, and to really get the full experience, it's great to see them do their work live.
Yeah, I believe there was a performance at the Bournemouth Writing Festival this year. From the Outsiders.
They've done things at both festivals. I remember Gyori Krishna, who's featured in this piece, and did an amazing piece the previous year that was just probably maybe a 10-minute monologue. I mean, there was other things on that night that were much more sort of produced in a fancy way with choreography and stuff, and this was just Gyori walking back and forth on the stage and telling the story about when he was a young kid. But it was just so gripping and powerful. I think everyone was just riveted watching him tell this story, and all completely memorized. You're not reading off the page, just spontaneously telling this. Well, not spontaneously. That's the thing. It seems spontaneous, and I think maybe Debbie and Neil can speak to this about the process that they go through to compose the pieces and to develop them over time, and so they become something that can be delivered. So they feel very off the cuff.
Cool. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk some more about the project in a bit, but first I think let's hear something from the anthology. So Debbie, I think you've got something that you've got featured in there to read us.
Yeah. This is called Honeycomb. Inside my mind is a maze of catacombs where honeybees have made a hive. They don't make honey, just dreams. Dreams of success, acceptance, love and escape. I'm forever searching for another time, a different day, a distant life. Clarity is lost within this labyrinth of lies. New possibilities are wasted opportunities, and I just yearn for peace. If my mind was clearer, if I could love my mind, perhaps the bees would make honey. Perhaps my dreams would become truth. Then I could accept the answer, that my mind is a honeycomb, and I am its queen.
Nice. Great last lines there. My mind is a honeycomb and I am its queen.
Thank you.
Great stuff. So how did this piece come together? Like, what was your... Obviously, I'm getting a little bit from reading it anyway, but what was your inspiration
that came from a workshop. It's actually one of the first things that I wrote in a workshop. They, at the time, we would be given a prompt. I can't remember what the prompt was, but we'd have been given a prompt and about 10 minutes to write something. And then we get the choice whether we want to share it or not afterwards. So I would have done it from there.
So did you write that in 10 minutes, or did you go back and redraft it?
I'd have written it first in 10 minutes, then
Yeah.
it would have been, I'd have shown it to one of the leaders, they would have given me a bit of advice and
Bit of
helped
feedback,
me.
and then helped you polish it up
Yeah.
a bit. Okay, brilliant. Cool. I'm going to go across and talk to Neil a bit now about his writing and his work. So, just flicking through the anthology, I've seen that you are like a prose writer. You've said you also write stories. Has writing always been something that you're interested in, or is it something that has come to you through being involved with the project?
I'd never written anything before I came down here. And that was just about 7 years ago. I wasn't educated in that way at school. I was probably one of those that was told that you're not any good. So for me to come down here and realise that, so really I just enjoyed it, and then I got a bit obsessed with it, and now it's just what I do. And it's hard to say to yourself that I am a writer, but I feel comfortable saying that now,
Yeah.
which is just crazy, really, considering where I've come from. But there's a lot of interventions along the way, and a lot of people that have popped into my life and inspired or given encouragement, supported with, all along the way, really. And it's just what I do. Sometimes it drives me mad, but it is what I do.
But this links in with what the show that you ran last week, Birdie, with where we had 3 authors in, published authors as well as you guys, and they were talking about how schools were so discouraging for them as well. You get told so now, and we were talking about how nowadays it shouldn't happen and probably doesn't happen.
We're trying. We are trying so hard to encourage the kids, even when they bring you the 20th story of the week and you've got loads of marking and you're just like, yes, I'll read it, of course.
But yeah, it's a big thing, and breaking out of that "you're no good" sort of model, which you're fed with, is really well done.
Yeah, I think as well what you said there about calling yourself a writer. I think a lot of people do feel like that. I mean, you're writing, and then you're thinking, do I get to claim that I'm a writer? But writers come from all walks of life, and I think if you are engaging with writing and it's something you do, and I mean, you've been published now, so you've definitely got every right to call yourself a writer. Okay, so. Would you say that the project has changed how you see yourself?
I'd say, it's definitely changed how I view myself and others, really, as well. Like the most beautiful part of being part of a project like this is to hear and listen to other people's words, and see what happens in a workshop when, from one prompt, something can be created that then evolves and just becomes this magical thing, and it's got life, it's got legs, it goes out, other people hear it, other people experience it, they feel different when they leave. So the impact is sort of endless, really, and it can just be a simple story about walking to the shops and what people see and hear and feel and sense on the way, and that can be enough, or it could be more elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely affected, in a lot of areas, I think.
Okay, that's brilliant. So I think it's time then if we hear something that you've written.
Okay, and this is called Heroes. Every day growing up, I would sit by the window to watch men with black faces and bloodshot eyes walk to the factories and mills. At age 15, I left school to start work in a giant foundry in Tipton. I clocked in with gangs of bull-strong men. Sparks flew, the floor shook. Old guys balanced over molten iron to fix motors, attaching bolts to beams. I felt afraid. Scorching clouds of metallic dust choked my breath. The thump-thump of machine fists pounded the earth. I thought I would be broken. And everywhere was movement, blinding, deafening. In the black hills, a smoke and scorched sky. Trains, machines, millers, turners, pulleys, cranes, welders, sprayers. Cooling tanks, steam, blast-proof doors, 100-ton presses pounding cracks in the floor. I enjoyed my evenings at the band club, drinking pints of ale with coal miners, playing cards with the old-timers. I met my Annie. She was 17 with pale skin and beautiful blue eyes. We drank gin and danced, held hands on slow walks home, dreamed out loud about aeroplanes, babies and colour TVs. I told her I loved her before I knew what love was. I became a man. In the black hills of smoke and scorched sky. Dermatitis, arc eyes, scalding swarf down the back of the neck. Gamblers, scroungers, fighters, proud fathers. Biker levers, grey coats, stretch marks, denim shorts. Army tattoos, knife scars, knee supports, facial warts. Hand drills, hammers, G-clamps, tin snips, hacksaws, spanners, screws, pins, rivets. Broken watches, chipped teeth, cement, speckled hair. We rented a little house. My parents would visit on Sundays. I cooked roast dinner. Annie grew a belly bump, which made her ankles swell. Then Tom was born, then more bumps came. We grew in numbers and the years went by so quick I felt I wasn't even there. I worked long hours to put sweets in their pocket, coal in the fire and clothes on our backs. I was happy, in the black hills of smoke and scorched sky. Glassworks, gas plants, iron smelting, die casting. Foundries, calling towers, blast furnaces, sandblasting. Stourbridge, Sandwell, Neverton, Telford, Smethwick. Tamworth, Cannock, Tipton, Stone and Redditch. Walsall, Lichfield, Cradley Heath, Belper, Coventry. Wolverhampton, Albury, Bilston, West Brom and Brackley. The kids have left home. Every month another pit closes or a factory is shut. Machines are wrapped, strapped and loaded onto trucks. The dole queues get longer. My boss tells me the foundry's closing. I go tell Annie, promise her it will be okay. My mates sign on and take out high-interest loans. I don't quit. I get work scrubbing floors, sticking labels on tins in budget food stores. I find a way forward. We survive and I pray for better times than I believe are possible. In the black hills of smoke and scorched sky. Mergers, interest rates, litigation. Export tariffs, recession, soaring inflation. Corruption, plunders, pension schemes, worthless shares. Hidden deficits, reductions in sale, fire sales. Audits, shredded invoices, redundancy. Negative equity, administration, insolvency. My retirement home is quiet. The residents watch telly and drink tea, which is not for me. I tend to the garden, creosote shed, search for things to fix. I take fresh flowers to Annie's grave, sing her favourite song, tell her I miss her, but she is better off gone. The grandkids visit once a month. They take me out for lunch, we talk about the future I feel nothing for and have no place in. I'm told to put down the tools and stop climbing ladders, that they love me. I want to say it's not enough. And when I sleep, I still hear the machines, and then I'm back there in the black country among the smoke and scorched sky like it's my first day at work. And though they are only dreams, I never want them to stop. In the black hills of smoke and scorched sky. Trains, machines, pulleys, cranes, clicking, cracking, melting, spinning. Cranes, pulleys, machines, trains, pounding, drilling, deafening, blinding. Trains, machines, cranes, pounding, spinning, melting.
Wow. A little round of applause. That was, wow, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write that?
He'd probably come out of a workshop again, and I guess I was maybe thinking of my granddad. Okay.
I was wondering who it was about.
And the fact that he didn't want to, and he loved work, he wouldn't stop work, and then there was that conversation, you know, he was still wanting to do stuff, and it started from that really, I guess, and then, you know, the place had changed, the area became in the Midlands because the Black Country, and I know someone that's from that sort of area as well, and so that was a link. But yeah, I think the source of it came from that generation, my granddad's generation, and I just took it from there, really.
Mm. I'm wondering as well, listening to it, you wouldn't be able to tell, but it's actually divided between like prose paragraphs and kind of poetry stanzas. So what inspired you to write it like that?
Do you know what? I've always been, and this is not to say my writing's like that, but I grew up with old school hip hop, and so I take a lot of, you know, there's a lot of that lyrical stuff I love, and other people. So, and I guess I like to do that. I like to sort of come in and out with different things, and it just sort of works really. If it's got a rhythm to it, like some sort of musicality, yeah, then I love that really.
Yeah, I think that works especially well in this piece because obviously you've got the sense of time passing when you're going into the poetry. It's kind of bridging the prose, and it gives you the feeling of time moving onwards, I suppose. So yeah, that is a really beautiful piece of writing. Do you have another one that you can share with us?
Okay, yeah, I've got another one. It's a short one. It's called Half Glass. There are days when I bounce out of bed. There are days of tea, toast, open roads. There are days my pen glides over the page like a ballpoint ballerina. There are days when the screams from my dreams remain. There are days when debts drop on my doormat, when everything I touch falls apart. There are days when mother murders me with words. There are months of sensational spontaneity. There are months of rump steak, romantic dates, birthday cake. There are months when I bridge the void, when I dare to commit. There are months when nobody knows if I'm alive or dead. There are months when I'm not vertical, not clean, not caring. There are months of miserable moments that last lifetimes. There are years of traction and transformation. There are years of vitality, clarity, fertility. There are years of sober smiles and acoustic sunshine. There are years of barricaded doors. There are years of voices in the walls, suicide Sundays, police pools. There are years of slavery to the symptoms of sickness. There are potholes in my path, sewage in my brain. There is light, dark, night and day. There are rainbows, thunderclouds and sweet-scented rain. There are sweaty hands, poisonous tongues, iron lungs. There are mountains to climb, skies to sail, caverns to plunge into. There are delicious foods, delirious dogs, salted air, a sea breeze. There are scarred thighs, bruises, black teeth and nosebleeds. There is medication, a sterile room, forensic observation. There is the turn of key, release papers, liberation. There is the tease of tomorrow. There is a reason to live. There is nothing to lose or win. There is denial. There is acceptance. There is freedom in every breath until that final ferocious full stop.
Nice. Sorry, I'm speechless. So yeah, can you tell us about that piece then? What's inspired this one?
There's a little bit of myself in that. I would say that there are days when it's when everything is flowing and it's great, and there's all those times. So I've experienced the times of barricading myself in and not wanting to face the world, and I've experienced walking on hills and everything looking great, and I'm taking in nature, and it's just that the differences, I would say, in me, and maybe in others as well, but I'd say for myself that one day I can be soaring and the next day I could be falling, and that's a little bit of what I was trying to get across really in my own little way.
Yeah, there's a real flow in that one, a real stream of consciousness. Why did you choose Half Glass as a title?
One day it's full, one day it's it's empty, so it's
pretty much what I thought.
Yeah, you can be an optimist one day and a pessimist the next, and it's still the same glass, and it's still half full.
Yeah, it's just my mind.
Yeah. Or you can be, is the glass half full, half empty? Don't really care. Or you can be, I ordered a cheeseburger. Forget the glass. Where's my food?
Okay, we're going to have a little chat with Debbie now. So, when did you come to writing? I asked Neil, is writing something that you've always been interested in? And I want to ask you the same question. Is it something that you used to do before The Outsiders, or is it The Outsiders that really instilled that love of writing in you?
No, I'm different to Neil. I've always written. I've written ever since I could write. Oh. I've always enjoyed it. I've done it through the darkest times of my life, really. It's been therapeutic for me to write. I mean, I haven't written for other people. I've written for myself. So I've always done it.
So was it with The Outsiders, was that the first time that you ever actually performed or read something you'd written to other people?
Yeah. It's the outsiders that for me personally, the biggest thing the outsiders has done for me is to give me an identity.
Right.
Until I joined Outsiders, I didn't really have any kind of direction in my life or meaning. So it's given me. It's a bit like Neil was saying about how it's difficult sometimes to say you're a writer, and for me, it's really, it feels great to say I'm a writer.
Yeah.
And that is thanks to the Outsiders project. I can say that, and they've given me that. So yeah.
What does it feel like sharing your writing in front of an audience? Is it something where maybe you started off being quite anxious about it and now you've built your confidence up, or do you still feel those nerves when you get up and share something you've written?
I always get the nerves.
Yeah.
But I think it's good in a way to have the nerves.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, I'm glad she said that. But yeah, I think we all get up on that stage, and even if we've been doing it for years, the nerves will get us.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it does kind of. There's been times where I've just blanked out, which is really tough.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Do you perform from memory then?
Yes. Yeah, when we're doing a show, yeah. Which is very nerve-wracking, but.
Yeah, I've got to say, I mostly, when I perform at the open mics or at events, like, I do tend to read from a book or from a piece of paper that I've got my poem written down on, because my mind will just go blank. I can repeat it to myself all day.
Yeah.
And I know that I've memorised it, but when I get on that stage and I see however many people in front of me, my mind just goes, and I tend to forget. So
yeah.
Oh, that's where we get a lot of help and direction from the amazing Jo Billingham. She's the director, and she's on us, helping us with our lines, and we get a lot of rehearsals and a lot of support with that. So it's not that bad. we get a lot of help with it.
So can you tell me about a performance or a piece of writing that felt especially powerful for you?
I think probably my first one, which was the show that we're touring at the moment, Tattoo.
Yep.
That was the first one that I performed in. It started as an idea to write about tattoos. That Nell, who was the director then, it started off as people just writing about their tattoos. I wrote a piece about mine. It was about a tattoo that I got to celebrate the fact that I'm a cancer survivor. So I wrote about that, and it started into the show and went from there.
Yeah, Tattoo. I think that was the one that was performed at the Writing Festival this year, wasn't it? Am I remembering that correctly?
Was it? Yes, it was.
Yes. I remember not being disappointed because I missed it, because there was something else on that I was involved with that clashed at the time that Tattoo was on show with the Writing Festival.
We also had workshops, like Neil did one, and Mac had done one the previous year. So the Outsiders do workshops at the Writing Festival as well, writing workshops people can participate in.
Cool. And you said Tattoo is touring, so you've got other performances of that coming up in case anyone did miss it.
We got more of them coming up. We've got one happening in October, is it? There's 3, I think, in October.
Yeah, we've got 3 in October. We've got the Arts Centre in New Milton. I think we're at the Pound in Corsham. Yeah, so and another one as well. So we've got 3 places, trying to get a few more as well. So we're getting out and about, exploring.
Yeah.
Rep theatre.
I mean, that's a new experience. I mean, I don't know. I think probably for all of us, but yeah, personally, it's really it's exciting, but it's something new to have something like that. It feels quite big to me, and it's. I just never thought I'd get to do something like that, and it's very it's special. It's something that you can. I don't know.
It's a major sort of tick box achievement, isn't it? But been involved in producing, writing, involved creating the show that's now gone on tour, and it's a massive tick in the box.
I mean, as a writer, I should be able to put into words how good it is. But
yeah, but you heard CW earlier. Really, we're hearing Neil's poem, he just says, "I'm speechless."
Yeah.
We all get tired.
Sometimes there's so much to say about something, my mind can't choose which of the many things it wants to say.
It can be like that.
To actually do it. You have another piece of writing for us to share, don't you, Debbie?
Yeah. This is another one of my early ones.
Is this in the anthology?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's called Fire. You threw me in the fire, watched me burn. Blood boiled, flesh fell away, body fat dripped, spat and sizzled, flowing like lava, until it congealed at my feet. I crumbled into dust. You piled on fuel and warmed yourselves. You walked on the ashes of my dreams. The fire was never hot enough for you. Did you think you could destroy me? The furnace refined me. It cleansed my contaminated bones. The blaze lit up the darkness inside. I will rise as a new creation. I'll wear the flames like a warm overcoat. Sparks will dance in the smoke from my breath. Embers will glow behind my eyes. My words will strike like lightning from the inferno of my mind. I'll burn hotter than ever before, and you will cower in the heat.
I'm speechless again. We're going to go across to Brad now, who's got something to read.
Oh, thanks. And thanks for letting me have a little time to squeeze this in. I've been in a bit of a funk these last 2 weeks because my mother passed away, and it happened very unexpectedly, and I flew out to the U.S., and I didn't quite make it in time. But she went peacefully, and so I wrote a piece just sort of thinking about it. I've been kind of, like I said, a bit of a fog, but, towards my father had passed last year, and she got this extra year in, and it was really, there was a lot about it that was very beautiful, and but she was struggling with her memory, and at times we would kind of hear the same stories over, and there were like these little tenuous sort of threads that were still holding us together. So the piece is kind of about that. It's called Umbilicus. What if I could cut the cord connecting me to Mama and all her unchecked drama, because boys need room to grow, and men don't need attachments binding us to others, especially our mothers. So why, stretched and frayed and split into a million strands, is that cord still wrapped around the few hairs still clinging to my head? The tiny threads that Mama used to stroke, each word of praise she spoke, each loving gaze spotlighting every minor victory, so that even now, as I strike out on my own, what's left of that old leash snaps taut, holding me suspended in her sweet regard, unsevered from those whispered reassurances, as I imagine what I might achieve if only I could rend the need that keeps me bound to that tenuous connection. The story of a kid who drew a cowboy in red crayon with 3 flies upon his face, and of course it won first place. She tells the tale 10,000 times, her eyes beaming with pride, As I look past the familiar words to the offshoot I've become of that small seed, nurtured by the one who lavished it with drip-fed dreams and encouraged it to sprout these wings and soar so far, so wide, overweened on her maternal pride until the day that Mama dies. And suddenly that old cord ties itself around my neck and drags me down, an iron chain fixed to an anchor, sinking to the bottom of a depthless sea, where the weight of water kills all light and life, and all that crushing pain I can no longer contain, all that fear and grief she used to help me bear, converges on me there. Until I'm so overcome, all I feel is numb. Still, I can't help wondering where, does anybody know? Where do all the unfelt feelings go? Please tell me they exist, even though she's gone. Please show me where, even though she isn't here, or there, or anywhere. Even though everything feels wrong, where does this untethered creature now belong? No longer chained to her, disconnected from the source that forged and shaped and yoked and choked, feeding me with love and shame and pride and 500,000 flaws. It's true, I'm finally free. Still, what I wouldn't give to feel the tug of one more thread securing her to me.
Yeah, what a tribute to your mum.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah. You think I want to claim that. Yeah, it's like it's just so. It's from the heart, but it's also true of how we feel about most of our mums. That
It's such a primal thing, isn't it? The way
it.
I mean, we're literally connected to them, and then all our lives we feel this tug. It's so strange to have that severed.
But that one line about you being a tiny part of that descendancy, as it were. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sorry, Steve, I'm cutting in on your
No,
show.
no, that's absolutely fine. I needed a minute again anyway. I didn't want to just be like, I'm speechless again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so powerful and so deeply felt. So many lines in there that just really resonated. And yeah, what a beautiful tribute to your mum.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are going to wrap up with you guys now. Thank you so much for coming into the studio tonight. I do have one more question for you before you go. So if there is anyone out there listening and maybe they're feeling a little bit lost in life or a little bit unheard, what would you want them to know about what's possible with the Outsiders project?
Come along to a workshop, and that's the main.
Can anyone join? Is there a procedure or like
No,
do you just come along?
Anyone can come along and see what you think of it.
Okay, when's the next meeting?
We're finished for the summer at the moment.
Right.
In September, we'll be starting up again. There's one on a Monday. I do that one. It's from 11 till 11:30 till 1 on a Monday. Then there's one on Tuesday evening, which Neil runs 6 till 8 on a Tuesday evening, and then there's a LGBT plus one on a Wednesday from 7 till 9.
Right, so you've got lots of different options and times there to try and make it work around a busy schedule maybe.
Yeah.
What's the best place for people to go to get all of the information? Is there a website?
Neil, there's the Outsiders.
Yeah, we're on. Yeah, we've got a web presence as well. So the Outsiders Project, and or you can type in Tosh, because a lot of our workshops are held in the old schoolhouse, is in Gladstone Road, Boscombe. Right. So you can go on there and find out. There's all sorts of creative things happening there. Actually, It's a really busy. Yeah, it's just brimming with really good stuff. But that's where we're based. Cool. But we do have our spiritual home, I've got to say, in the Boscombe Arts Depot. I just got to throw that in our lovely scaffold theatre. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah. And where can people go to get the anthology home?
It's available on Amazon, print on demand. So if you just type in the Outsiders Project, it'll come up.
Cool. Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. I hope you had a nice time.
Thank you.
Thank you, CW.